Thanks again for joining us here at the True West Podcast, coming to you live from the Go West experience here in Nashville, Tennessee at the Studio Collection at Go West. We are here midway through our day one of the Go West experience, and we have had an incredible response from dear friends and colleagues from around the country that have come to participate in our panels today. Right now, sitting with me, a good friend of mine for many, many years, came all the way here from San Francisco, California. She is the leader of operations and sponsorship for Cisco Live. This is Heather Henderson Thomas.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Heather.
It's good to be here.
It's so great to see you.
Do these headphones make my hair look good?
It's nice.
Okay,
right.
good.
These headphones make me look fat. I don't know. So, Heather, thank you so much for being here today and for participating in the panels with all the great folks on the events. What I'd like to ask you is, outside of the panel and the wonderful people that you got to speak with, what was an aha moment? What was something that you saw today, or somebody you met backstage, or what was a moment today that you were like, oh, that was really cool and unexpected?
Oh my goodness, so many. I was going to tell you thank you, because I probably got more out of today than, I hope I gave as much as I got out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I was just inspired back there. I was sitting around the table and having, honestly, a bit of imposter syndrome, like, holy crap, these women are amazing.
So are you.
Well, thank you. But I think we all go through that. Mm-hmm. But I had a really great conversation with Joy, the District 32 Councilwoman, and just talking about the importance of getting involved in local politics, because that's where it affects your day-to-day life.
Right.
And that's, personal and for business. And I had a great conversation with Laura about what she's doing, and the whole, her finding joy in what you do, even through the grief or the journey, and just always finding joy and always looking for the positive in what's happening, that you're going to learn something from all of it.
Right.
So it's been great. I was sitting around the lunchroom table, just trying to be a sponge and listen to these women. You should have seen the conversations happening.
Right.
There was so much energy in that room. I swear you could have dropped a world issue in the middle of the table, and I'm pretty sure around that table we would have solved it in about 20 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, there's some very, very smart women, very connected women here today.
Yes, so. It was fun.
So great. Yeah, and then again, today being International Women's Day, so all of our panels today are all about women. And you being a woman leading a very large team for a very large event, right? Cisco Live is a large global juggernaut of tech conferences, and you have them 3 different locations?
We are. So Cisco Live is a global brand, global portfolio of events that takes place around the globe in 3 different regions. And then I am personally responsible for the operations and sponsorship for the Americas, which is really our flagship, our largest event for the company. Where we educate, thousands of customers and partners across the week for 5 days, and we have a huge trade show floor and entertainment and main stage keynotes. It's really our time to shine with our customers. So yeah, that's what Cisco Live is.
And for sponsorship, that's got to be a big job, because I'm assuming this event costs upwards of $50,000 to produce.
Maybe a few more zeros.
Maybe 75.
Yeah, maybe. It is. So sponsorship is key to us, because as a company, our partner sales model is really important. We drive a lot of revenue through our partners, and that's great. It's kind of our business as well, our partners do well. So our partners who sponsor the event also obviously do help offset the event budget, but it gives them that opportunity to be in touch face-to-face with the customers as well, and increase their business impact. Cisco Live is really unique. I also manage the finance, so I manage the business operations, and we operate like an SMB inside of Cisco. So I have to manage a P&L. We're a revenue-based, self-funded event budget. It's entertaining year to year, and we're kind of we're like a company inside Cisco. So
let me ask you about that. So when you pivoted, and I'm sorry, I hate
that word.
I know. So during the pandemic, when you guys went digital, right? How did that affect your sponsorship? Right, the people that came alongside you that fund the project,
right?
And how did that affect you in year 1 when everybody's like a little more kumbaya, and year 2 kind of going, right?
We tried some things. I think that's what unprecedented time, gave us was an opportunity to flex our creative thinking and try things differently. From a sponsorship perspective, that first year, I only had 12 weeks. So we basically had to refund all our in-person sponsors, and we didn't do sponsors. And for the event, Cisco actually came behind us and funded that event because they realized what a unique moment in time it was, and there wasn't a way to be self-funded that year. Right. Going forward then into year 2, when we had to make the very tough decision to again be digital, we did create sponsorship opportunities for our partners, but minimal because we didn't want to have so many that it diluted that opportunity for partners. So we tried it. Again, Cisco had to come behind us that year. So for 2 years in a row, we weren't truly self-funded. And the company's like, okay, 2022, you're back on.
Right. All on you.
Get back to that.
And we're good, 2022, right?
Yeah, 22 is much better. And our partners came along beside us and sponsored again. And I think that energy and excitement of coming back together in person, they were all in, which is funny. That was also our tagline. And I think it was so fitting because we were all in for coming back in person. Right. Yeah. And getting that powerful connection and getting that benefit of the face-to-face that makes such a difference. Right. Digital experiences are not going to go away. They're that yes and. Mm-hmm. They're a way to amplify the brand or give people a taste to be then a demand gen channel for us to be like, oh, well, I saw that in digital. I want more. Let me go deeper. Let me go in person next time. Right. Let me get to those sponsors and find those solutions. We call it the world of solutions on our trade show floor. Find those partners that can help my audience solve the problems they may be having with their network and IT services back home.
Absolutely. And there's nothing replaces this, right?
Nothing.
So you and I haven't seen each other face to face in probably a decade.
At least,
right?
Sadly.
Yeah, right? But what the ground we have covered in the last 24 hours or less that we've been together has been really phenomenal, right? Mm-hmm. Just reconnecting and really rediscovering. So really appreciate you being here. One last question before we throw
me out.
Yeah, throw you out of
throw me back out of the podcast room. Okay, great.
So last question is this being about finding your true West. Yeah. Our tagline here. Outside of Cisco. Right. Let's go outside of your business.
Let's do it.
Talk to me about a time in your life where you've faced a roadblock, or you had to figure out a way to get around it, or you figured, you know what, this isn't working, and I want to try something different, and you created your own path.
Oh wow! Okay, that's good. I
can take a sip of water.
Yeah, you do that. Give me a little thought time. I would say, when I found a roadblock, I would say when I made the very interesting choice in my life and my career journey to go from, I was with country clubs. When we met, I lived in the Midwest. I worked for country clubs and did sales and catering on and off-prem. And I made the decision to move to California. And I moved to California for one job. That did not work out.
That happens.
That happens. Yeah. But I was there, and I made it my full-time job to find a job, and I used my network. I used my network from ILEA. I used anybody I would meet. I'd be like, let's have lunch. Let's find out who you know, and let me get to know you and see how we can connect. And ultimately, I ended up landing as a meeting planner at Cisco. Right. And I really did find my home there. I had spent the first half of my career more on the social event side, weddings and travel staffing and incentives and club events. And then when I really finally landed at Cisco, I had my aha moment and realized corporate is where I thrive. They're a different beast.
It's a different beast.
All facets of events have a different breed and personality, but this was where I felt I needed to be, and I could bring all of that experience of the personal events and bring that into a corporate event environment, because corporate events are still personal events.
They are.
You still have human needs. You still need warm welcomes, memorable moments, fond farewells. You need to be fed. You need to be comfortable. You need to be able to navigate to everything you need. And so then that's a long-winded answer to see how I overcame that. But I think that for me was a big turning point in my life, both personal and professionally, because in that networking path, I also, met my now husband, and
Right.
our first date, he thought we were on a date. I thought we were networking, and 3 years later we were married.
Well,
so
there you go.
it works out.
Clearly, he was correct.
Clearly, he was.
So,
smart.
quick question before
Yes.
we wrap. When you got to Cisco, did you know what Cisco was? Did you know about the brand? Did you know who they were as a company?
Not as much. And of course, coming from the Midwest, I had SYSCO in my head. But when I got
The food company.
The food company,
Right.
which I work for the other one, Cisco, named after San Francisco, the technology company. But as I have been at the company, I mean, when I say I'm from Cisco, some people to start talking tech with me, I'm like, look, we make a lot of blinky boxes that power the internet.
Right.
I do events. But as I have gotten to know the company more and more, who we are and what we stand for and how we want to impact the world and how we power the world, it makes me so excited to be a part of that brand.
That's awesome.
And watch what we're doing with our brand and how we're moving more into a consumer space, not just B2B marketing, but really connecting with our customers, because the whole pandemic also brought to light the benefit of Cisco products. And this isn't a sales pitch. It's just, I've been working hybrid for years. And so the pandemic was not really a different operating model for me, because I've always been on WebEx. I've always been on video calls as that has developed. So, I'm really proud of the company.
It's so fun to see the passion that you have,
Oh,
right?
thank
for
you.
the company that you work for, and obviously the culture that they've done there. So,
Yeah.
Heather Henderson Thomas, thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
here. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the True West podcast, brought to you here by our friends at Go West Creative and the Studio Collection at Go West. Thanks for being here.